we only really want to defend for the least amount of time possible. The purpose of defending is to get the puck back. And then once we get the puck back, we need to have an eye forward of where we're trying to go so that we can begin to formulate an attack that's intelligent and uses multiple people and gets us in a place where we can keep the puck or we can sustain that offensive pressure, because we don't want to be on the defensive. Or when the other team gets it, when the opponent gets it in their end, that we are in a position where we can get it back again quickly. So it's more of a mindset of we want to get the puck back as quickly as possible all the time. And so it's not so much defending to defend. It's defend to get the puck. And then once we get the puck, we already need to know. So the way I differentiate it is you have the defense that's occurring at the puck. So let's say we take the two triangles again. You have a defense triangle that's at the puck, and they're responsible largely for trying to get it back from where it is located at that time. Let's say it's in the defensive corner, in the left corner. Well, now you have a primary defender who got there. You got a secondary player who's now in support of that play, that they're going to work in tandem to try to get the puck. You have a defenseman that's at the net on the front post trying to compress the space. But then you have the other three people. You have maybe the weak side defenseman that I just talked about. You have the two forwards that are defending. They're defending, but they're also thinking of positioning themselves so that when we get the puck back, that they can quickly activate to be available, so that now we can just get the puck and start moving on offense. So I don't think it's really all that groundbreaking in the sense of, like, the best time to organize your defense is when you're on offense, and the best time to organize your offense is when you're on defense.
Damn it.
And that's a really important distinction as it relates to what you're talking about, is trying to get yourself in a space where you're teaching a mentality here of how we're trying to operate. And I think that's what the book is designed to do. It's all about getting the puck back. And then once we have the puck, that we're going to attack. And then not only we're going to attack, but then when we do attack, we're going to try to shoot pucks. When we shoot the puck, we are now on defense. As soon as we shoot it, we're on defense. So now we're trying to get that puck back because it's an undetermined phase. So now we got to be moved. But if everyone's not moving in their shapes, understanding, when we were on offense, so for example, we're on offense, we're on the rush. We're going to get a shot. We're still on the rush. The best time to organize yourself defensively is when we are on the rush going. Your weak side D that's following up the play, they're not lagging behind. They're sprinting to get up the ice. Why? Because they're in anticipation that when the shot is taken, their goalie's going to save it, kick it to the corner, whatever. And now the other team's going to get it. I need to contribute to helping get this puck back. So it's just more of a five-man mentality that we're on the ice, that we're constantly flipping from offense to defense. We're in transition more than we're in anything. And anytime the puck is off the stick, that's defense. So we need to be organized in advance of that and expect it. Where I think before we teach it very, it was separate. We're teaching defense, or we're teaching offense. No, we're teaching the interaction between those two all the time, because you're never really, I shouldn't say never, but it's at a disproportionate amount of time that you have all five people totally on offense. You really don't have all five people totally on offense all that often. There's still people that they're in an offense, they're in a dual position. They're in a pretty good spot in a defense. Like, for example, in the offensive zone, why do you have the weak side D in the middle of the ice? Well, because that's a good dual position. If the other team gets it, they can, you're in a good defensive position, and you're also in a good offensive position that we can find you. So these ideas of being in dual positions, and that we have maybe 2 people who are really truly on offense. The other 3 are in dual positions. They're in a good spot offensively, and they're in a good spot defensively. So if the puck turns or it's loose, we can react defensively to get the puck back, because I want to get it back as quickly as I can. I want to be on offense as much as possible.
Darryl, I'm in your book. The one thing, and I just started defensive zone cover, and you you have the weak side D literally on the strong side. You cut the shape down, and in minor hockey, and this is for everybody else, we talk about protect the house, which is shrinking, defending, and we use the term man on box behind. You use the term dice, and the idea of the man on is it's like you can read the man on and support. So the progression of defensive transition, when I'm getting out of everything the way you've positioned, tighter, faster, sooner, turnovers, better, and doing something with it, I'm throwing this at you, Darryl. I'm going to throw everything I know about D-zone cover out the window. And I'm simplifying it to, if they have 1, you have 2. If they have 2, you have 3. They have 3, you have 4. And I really believe that that's the outnumbering to spontaneously react to with space and time at the transition. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's an effective way to teach, because then you can say, listen, when we have, let's say they have 2 and we have 3. So what happens when we get the 2 pins on the wall? Like, what's the third person doing? Like, what's their job? Well, their job is to make sure nothing gets passed through them to the other side. Number 1, so they get stick on the ice. They're in anticipation of any pucks that might get passed through them. But they're also looking for loose pucks. They're looking for pucks that are going to get bumped into space that they can skate onto, because they're in effect the transition piece. We have 2 people who are focused on defending, trying to get ticks, get the puck loose, get a pin, get a contact, try to do anything to disrupt or this offensive team. And then you have the third person who's involved with now the next triangle that, hey, that puck comes loose, you're jumping on it or you're involved so that we can get going the other way, get on offense. So, and you can do the same thing in the offensive zone off the forecheck. You could do you could have a very similar approach. We're trying to get there and outnumber and then the whatever the extra player is that's involved in that play, that's where we're trying to go with the puck. Like you're trying to just, in the book, what I was trying to do more than anything is create thoughts towards how we can communicate things a little differently. It's really all I was trying to do.
Hal.
No, I love that. It's the challenge with younger players is that when they go to the corner as all of them are trying to get the puck rather than to contain and shrink the space. So actually I've got a video on this on YouTube about the shrink, and it's about body position and pushing the opponents towards the puck. And then that extra player is just hunting. They're hunting for that because it's going to come up the wall or it's going to go around the backside. I mean, it's one or the other. Mm-hmm. And then they just take off and go. But with younger players, they all want to go and get their stick in there and get the puck rather than to play the man and pin him on the wall. Older players, they get that pretty easy. But I'm going to be teaching you somethings this year. We call them peewees. You 12 and 11-year-olds. So it'll be interesting to see how, if I can teach them to do this, because it's very effective. It's super effective.
I would be shocked if you weren't. I would be shocked if you weren't able to teach it. I think that it comes down to how you communicate it, of course, and as long as they understand what you're trying to do and why, you can pretty much teach them whatever you want. And I get excited about it where, you know, you understand the tendency of the age group. And so you look to fill in that tendency, which allows them to be more prepared to play at the next age group. Because I always like the approach of whatever I'm coaching this year is to set the table so they're more prepared to play next year.
Correct.
And so, you know, these ideas of learning how to use your body a little more effectively and, you know, maybe you don't rush in there in a straight line. Maybe you got to come in on an angle. Maybe you have to have better stick position. Maybe you got to go stick the puck first and then finish the body. Maybe the guy with you has to work with you. Maybe the two of you are trying to do, like, maybe you're going to kind of like lead them into the contact. Like maybe your job is not to finish the check. Maybe it's to kind of, he's like treat him like he's like you're herding cattle. Like just kind of like lead him into that small space where we can then, he realizes he's got no space. He might come to a stop himself. You might not even have to hit him to force him to stop. He might stop and turn, make your life easy. So all those like awakenings of how we can work together and what the purpose is, I think those are all really good things. But in the end, I don't like it personally when we teach defense to play defense. I want to play defense to get the puck. And I think it's not a new concept at all. I just think it's empowering for the players. And to Jordan's point, it's more fun. Kids, I'm going to give you, I'm also trying to inspire good players to want to defend harder. And so one of the ways is say, well, you got the puck. I'm going to give you an example. So you're telling a 12-year-old here, you say, I need you to defend like harder. Like you got to work harder. You got to work to help contribute to get the puck back. So here's what I'm going to tell you. How long do we want our shifts? Well, coach, you always say 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds a shift. Great. When you go on the ice, the other team has the puck. So what happens now? Well, we have to go get it. Okay, well, how long do you think it's going to take for you to go get the puck, like as a group? I don't know, like whatever he says. He could say whatever, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Okay, so you realize if it takes now 10 seconds to get the puck, you only have 20 more seconds in the shift. And you got to give me 5 seconds to get off. So now it's 25 seconds. And you got to give me 5 seconds to get on and get in the play. So now it's 20 seconds. So now you told me it took 10 seconds to get it. You only have 10 seconds on offense. So the quicker we get this puck, the more time you have on offense before you need to start hearing that mental clock ticking along where you now know you need to come off. So again, just a simple way of describing the urgency that's needed to get this puck and how we have to work together to do it, because I want you to have you're a good player. I want you to have the puck and have the chance to play on offense as long as you can. But every time I see you go on the ice and you don't contribute to getting the puck back, you either extend the shifts too long, which I don't like, or you don't get the puck at all and you're not on offense. So now my best player doesn't have the puck enough. So it's just like a simple way of communicating it in a little different way to let them know, like, this is why I need you to do it, because I like watching you with the puck. I'm not telling you to defend because I only want to see you defend. I don't want to see that. I want to see you defend just long enough so I can get you to get the puck so you can do the things that you do. That's it.
Love it. Love it. Awesome.